All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're in the 135-pound division where some statements had come out from people associated with Gervonta Davis's camp that I thought was at least on a live stream associated with Gervonta Davis's camp, which was hilarious and a great observation about what's going on in the 135-pound division, where Gervonta Davis's previous actions, have exposed Shakur Steveson, Devin Haney, the top rank, and you could say Frank Martin, as the only guy that is actually not behaving like a diva in the lightweight division, because he is the one that does the things necessary to actually make the fights that people want to see happen, not bicker, bargain, try to get over on the other guy and claim to be the A side in a scenario. But before we get into that, let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, I'm going to make some Shakur Steveson fans and some Devin Haney fans kind of mad. However, it just has to be said that this whole scenario with Frank Martin and Shakur Steveson and Devin Haney and Shakur Steveson has really brought out who it is exactly that is willing to do what they need to do to make the big fights happen in the lightweight division, and who exactly is really sitting back being divas and holding up really good fights from taking place. And it is the exact opposite of what people had been accusing of claiming has been happening for years now. Before I get into the details though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does mean a huge, huge deal to the channel. But let's get into this, okay? So, Devin Haney was, when he was coming up as a young fighter, he's still a young fighter, excellent fighter too. All these guys are very, very good fighters. Put out the image that he was the guy, the only guy in the lightweight division who was really trying to go out of his way, really trying to make all the fights happen. Everybody else was hiding from him. Gervonta Davis never fights anybody. He's hiding from everybody. That was kind of the thing that was going on, right? Then fast forward a couple years to Devin Haney becoming the undisputed champion of the world, right? After that, Devin Haney did two things. He had a negotiation with Vasily Lomachenko, and he had a negotiation with Shakur Steveson. The fight with Lomachenko did happen. The fight with Shakur Steveson did not happen. After the fight with Shakur Steveson did not take place, Shakur Steveson, instead of fighting Devin Haney, instead of fighting Shakur Steveson, dropped his belt. And in that negotiation that took place, there was a lot of pressure put on Devin Haney for the stance that he took. Similar to the one that he took with Lomachenko, where he told Lomachenko, in order to make this fight happen, you're going to need to make me concessions. That's what he said in the ring with Vasily Lomachenko, as Vasily Lomachenko after Vasily Lomachenko had beaten Jermaine Ortiz. So in that situation, he demands concessions from Vasily Lomachenko. In the fight with Shakur Steveson, he offers Shakur Steveson reportedly a 75-25 split of the purse that was going to be paid by Top Rank, which is 5% lower than what he would get if it was a mandatory title shot. So rightfully so, Some people said, oh, Shakur is being a diva for not just taking whatever is offered to this by Devin Haney. And other people said, look, man, Devin's ducking this fight because he's not trying to offer the man what would you would even get in a purse bid, right? Which is 30% by the WBC. Then after Devin Haney jumps out, after Shakur Steveson and Devin Haney fall out, Shakur is now going to fight for the vacant belt. What happens? He offers Frank Martin, according to reports, 18% out of a $1 million out of a total $7 million purse, which is 18%, right? Which is lower than the percentage that was offered to him by Devin Haney. So once again, another guy walks away from the fight. This time, Frank Martin. So you have multiple people people falling out of the fights because they're the A side, are making requirements on other people that they think are fair because they're acting like, look, this is the best you've ever done in your career, and no, I'm not going to give you the statutorily required amount for the fight. So basically lowballing these guys because they think they're A sides. Now, so the irony of this is that a certain guy named Gervonta Davis is not doing that to anybody. Gervonta Davis has not been accused of doing that to anybody. And he is the only true A-side that there is in the 135-pound division. If there's anybody in that division that should be making offers to people that don't sound right, it should be Gervonta Davis. Because Gervonta Davis is the one that's bringing in all the money, right? You can talk about your accolades and how many belts you have. This guy literally has a bunch of belts, whether you like the belts that he has or not. Who cares? He's a three-time major championship holder at 130. He is a current title holder at 130, and he is a former title holder at 140. 130, again, 130, three-time major championship holder, right? At 135, he is a current title holder. If you call it secondary, that's fine. It still costs some money, and people still pay for the fights. And the former 140-pound title holder. Don't like the title, so what? He still paid for it, and people still bought the fight. So he's the only one that should be doing this, and he's the only one of the top guys that isn't doing it. It's amazing. And here's the proof. He fought to make the biggest fight that there's been in boxing since since Floyd Mayweather Jr. fought Conor McGregor, and the first real boxing match, the biggest pay-per-view in a real boxing match since Floyd Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao, I do believe. Maybe he could have tied with Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez won, so maybe say that one, but you get my point. And guess what he did to make the fight with Ryan Garcia? Ryan Garcia wanted to fight at 136. And he said, okay, I'll fight at 136. We don't even have to fight at 135. People jumped on him for saying, yeah, we're gonna have a rehydration clause with it, but he still gave him a pound. That's a negotiation. And you know what you never heard out of Ryan Garcia? You never heard him say anything about the money he got paid. You've never heard anybody turn down a fight with Gervonta Davis because they felt like he lowballed them. So there's no history whatsoever of the man lowballing anybody. So the only guy that has not pulled diva moves by anybody's imagination, like some people say, oh, that's not a diva move by Shakur. That's not a diva move by Devin Haney. The people that are fighting them think they're diva moves, right? So he's literally the only one that has not been accused of that, and he is the one that has been making the biggest fights, no matter what you all want to say out there in a peanut gallery, because Leo Santa Cruz was a big fight. Ryan Garcia was a big fight. Rolly Romero was a big fight. Even Isaac Cruz is not complaining about him as one of the top lightweights. But anyway, man, you guys can keep living off in this la la land. You guys can keep living off in this la la land if you like. There are a whole lot of divas in boxing and a whole lot of ducking going on in boxing. The people that say they want to fight Gervonta Davis are over in networks where they can't even do it. But in the networks that they can't, where they are and they can get their fights, they're having all kind of drama making these fights, even though they claim that they're the ones that want all the smoke. So much so that Top Rank is out here saying that now Shakur Stevenson's the most ducked fighter in boxing. Ducked by who? Ducked by Bob Arum? Was he ducked by Bob Arum, who wouldn't give him the Vasily Lomachenko fight and would not pay up enough money to get him the Devin Haney fight and wouldn't pay up enough money to get him the Frank Martin fight? Man, please, man. Oh, I think this whole stuff, I think all of this stuff is absolutely positively hilarious. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. I don't care what some of y'all like it. You can lump it. This is what it's looking like out here. And that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.